K-pop lovers, welcome back to K-pop News, the home of the most touching, inspiring, and surprising stories from the world of Korean entertainment. How are you, ARMY? It's been a while since we've spoken with hearts that are truly calm. The world feels loud these days. Too many voices, too many opinions, too much noise that makes us forget how to simply pause and listen to what truly matters. Today, I want to speak, not with excitement or laughter, but with softness. There's something I want to say, something not funny, not lighthearted, but deeply important. This isn't about fandom jokes, not about memes or light banter. It's about something far deeper. It's about feeling, about heart, and about how we protect the things we love. Lately, our small world, the one once filled with laughter, warmth, and unity, has been shaking. Not because of a new sweet moment, not because of a cute interaction, but because of something that should never have happened. Conflict, accusations, division, things that should have never taken root among us, have begun to appear. The community that used to be our safe home of love and peace has slowly turned into a battlefield of endless debate. And in the center of all this noise are two names that have always carried special meaning for so many of us, Tae and Jungkook. Yes, the community known as Taeguk or Taekook is no longer as peaceful as it once was. It all began when photos and videos involving Taehyung spread online without permission. What should have remained private suddenly became public property. The internet turned wild. Rumors, gossip, and endless speculation. In an instant, something sacred became entertainment. The saddest part? Some of the very same people who once condemned this kind of behavior are now doing the same thing, sharing, commenting, analyzing, maybe for attention, for validation, or perhaps just for a few more numbers on social media. But behind all that chaos, something essential has been forgotten. Taehyung is not just a celebrity. He is not merely a handsome face on a screen or a voice that comforts millions. He is a human being, someone with boundaries, with private space, with a right to peace. The world may love him, but the world does not own him. Too often, fandoms forget that loving an artist doesn't mean we are entitled to know everything about their life. Love should never be a form of possession. True love is protection. To love someone means knowing when to stop, when to be quiet, when to protect rather than expose. Real empathy isn't measured by how loud you defend someone online, but by how much you understand when to hold back. In a world full of noise, silence itself can be an act of love. This fandom was once defined by its love, a pure love that didn't demand anything in return, that simply wanted to see them happy. But over time, something changed. That love slowly turned into obsession, an obsession to know more, to control, to dictate how they should live. We forgot that being a fan doesn't mean owning someone. Being a fan means respecting them from afar, supporting them without dictating, loving them without demanding. We can care, but we must not control. We can love, but we must not possess. And amidst all this chaos, the same two names still stand at the center of our hearts, Taehyung and Jungkook, two souls who, somehow, always find each other even through distance and silence. Their connection is not something that needs to be constantly shown. They don't need to appear side by side for us to know their bond is real. True love doesn't need cameras to prove itself. Often, the most genuine moments happen away from the public eye, in quiet laughter, in an unspoken gaze, in a kind of comfort that needs no words. Whenever they share the same space, the world seems to pause for a moment. There's a stillness in the air, a peace that can't be explained. It's not about dramatic moments or forced fan service. It's about something subtle, something real. That's what Taeguk means. It isn't about hype. It's about sincerity that lives within silence. They have their own world, a world we may never fully understand, but we can choose to respect it. We don't always have to see them together to know that the bond still exists. Trust is the purest form of love. And if we truly trust, we won't need proof every single day. We won't need new pictures or interactions to believe that their connection remains. True love doesn't ask for validation. What it needs is patience and respect. When our hearts are calm, the fandom becomes calm too. Let's stop normalizing things we once condemned, sharing from what love truly means. Love doesn't need an explanation. It just needs to be believed. And one day, when they appear together again, maybe at an event, or in a quiet moment caught accidentally on camera, that moment will feel different. Not shocking, not loud, but peaceful. Because by then, we will have learned to stop demanding. We will know, deep down in the stillness of our hearts, that they are still the same, still understanding each other, still caring for each other, without needing to prove anything to anyone. That is what real love is. Love that exists quietly, but speaks louder than words. Taeguk is real, not because we force it to be, but because their connection speaks for itself. Not through statements or photos, but through an invisible thread that genuine hearts can feel. Their bond is built on trust, acceptance, and honesty. They don't need the world to see them. They just want to be understood. And perhaps that's where their magic lies, in simplicity, in authenticity, in the way they can make us feel warmth without uttering a single word. So, to everyone still here, listening with an open heart, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Remember why you fell in love with them in the first place. It wasn't because of rumors. It wasn't because of leaked photos or speculation. It was because of a feeling, a pure, honest, and real emotion. Taehyung and Jungkook, two hearts that grew together, two souls that understand each other beyond explanation. They remind us that love can be quiet, gentle, and powerful all at once. And our role as fans is not to divide, not to control narratives, not to create wars between ships or fandoms. Our role is to protect, to keep this love clean, peaceful, and true. Because in the end, Taeguk is not about who's right or wrong. It's about how we learn to be better people, fans with empathy, humans with respect, and hearts that understand boundaries. I know this message feels heavy. It's not the easiest thing to talk about. But sometimes, the most important truths are the hardest to say. To every ARMY and every Taeguk believer out there who still holds on with patience, who loves without extremes, who protects without interfering, thank you. You are the reason this space still exists. You are the hope that this fandom can still find peace. And to those who come only to seek attention, to spread hate, or to create drama, please step back. This place is not for noise. It's for sincerity. Not for burning bridges, but for healing hearts. The world is already loud enough. This fandom should be a place to rest, not to fight. In the end, what lasts is not the rumor, not the gossip, not the argument. What lasts is the feeling, the quiet warmth that makes us smile without reason whenever we see them, the calm assurance that tells us they're doing okay, even if we don't see them often. That's the kind of love that endures. That's why we've stayed all this time. So once again, thank you for being part of this journey. Keep your heart soft, keep your fandom peaceful, and keep your love pure. You don't have to shout to prove your love. Let your sincerity speak through your actions by respecting their privacy, by stopping the spread of harmful rumors, by choosing kindness over chaos. In a world that never stops screaming, being someone who brings silence is an act of courage. Remember this. True love isn't always visible, but it's always felt. And as long as we can still feel it, Taeguk will always be real. Not because we force it, but because our hearts know. Believe in warmth, not in rumors. Believe in love, not in hate. Because in the end, only love remains. Until we meet again in another story, stay gentle, stay kind, stay grounded in the kind of love that doesn't demand. As always, this is a message from a quiet place. A place where love speaks softer than hate, and where we are reminded that sometimes the strongest things are born from silence. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and of course, subscribe to our channel for the latest updates from the world of K-pop and BTS. Also, turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any other exciting updates. See you in the next video, and keep supporting your idols with all your heart.